Hey, hi there, French Vinyl coming out on another video. When I did start the channel a couple of months ago, I knew I was going to talk about genres and bands that I really like. And one of the first video I made, I uploaded, was about progressive music. I don't know if you remember. For those who watches my channel, you know how much I love prog rock. Maybe I will put a link in description. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because today's video is actually part two of that video. I'm going to talk about six other great albums that we can relate it to the genre of progressive music. And one of the reasons is firstly because I still love that genre. And during my last summer vacation, I read that incredible book, Rock Progressif, written by French author Émeric Leroy. And yeah, I was really impressed. This is a 400 pages book which provide a lowdown of the genre, very detailed. He made an outstanding work gathering all the information, context-related stories, gathering all the incredible album, important bands of the genre. Everything is in that book. So I'm gonna talk about progressive music. So ready? Let's go. So yeah, prog rock. The first one I would like to start with is that one. This is Yes. This is Fragile, released in 1971. This is the first album featuring Rick Wakeman as the band, led by John Anderson and Chris Squire. They wanted to evolve musically. At that time, Tony Kaye, the keyboard player, he was a bit reluctant to trade his trusty Hammond organ for some new technologies, which were just available then, as 1970 marked that year. Robert Moog's Mini Moog made it to the UK market. This monophonic analog synthesizer that would become a key tool of the arsenal of the progressive music. And you can really feel the difference when comparing to the Yes album, which is the previous one they just made before that one, mainly because of the sound of the piano, the synthesizer, harpsichord. Rick Wakeman carried along a lot of great songs on that one. Roundabout, the opening tracks the band has written when they were touring in Scotland, in the winding road between Aberdeen and Glasgow, and one of my all-time favorite, almost 12-minute masterpiece, Heart of the Sunrise on side 2. Probably my favorite with Suppers Ready. So this is Yes, this is Fragile. And the next one is another iconic band slash album from the early 70s. This is Genesis. This is not Foxtrot for once. This is Nursery Cryme. And just as Yes, the band they went through some changes in the lineup, as Anthony Phillips, the co-founder, has just left the band after the release of Trespass album, and so has John Mayhew on drums, and they both were replaced by Steve Hackett on guitar and Mr. Phil Collins on drums. So this is the first album featuring these two people in the classic lineup with Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford, and Peter Gabriel, of course. And they also evolved musically in a way. They now had the ability on that album to flit between pastoral quiet to more epic rock moment. They were also starting to do some concert outside of the UK. They were in Belgium. They had success they did several. Just fun fact, they made a very first gig in a farm, in a small farm in Belgium. And they made that record, adding this Mellotron, very iconic Mellotron sound, which was previously owned by Robert Fripp. And this album takes up some of the topics that were already present on the previous one, Trespass. You have a ballsy driving song with wistful ballads, multi-segment and historical journeying, and adding comedy. The song Harold the Barrel might tend to fall into that category if you want. So this is Genesis. This is Nursery Cryme, and right after that album, they were in Italy. They were touring in Italy. And speaking about this country, the next album I'm going to talk about is an Italian band. This is PFM. This is Storia Di Un Minuto. This is amazing album. And the reason why I decided to include an Italian band is quite simple. First of all, 1972, March 1972, the genre is very popular in Italy. The three first places of the Billboard chart in Italy, they were occupied by prog bands. You had ELP, you had um, you had PFM, and Van der Graaf Generator, and the fifth place by King Crimson. Then among the all the European nations, Italy is undoubtedly a country with deeply imbued with art music, as well as contributing to erudite in classical music such as opera, folk song, and operetta is a very common practice in popular, which can explain in a way the melodic sensitivity of the Italians. Plus, despite being an English invention, prog rock was very compatible with the Italian musical culture, as you can feel when you listen to Italian music, the way the sophistication in the writing. They like to give a bright place to instrumentation, for instance, just as acoustic piano, fiddle, fiddle, flute, and vocals, and all these elements you can find on that one. This is their first album. I know Scott from the Pro Corner. He prefers the Storia Per un Amico, which is the second album they made, which has, I agree, more solid production. But I would prefer that one. Just this is the very first time I heard that one. I was truly amazed. I found all these hints, this reference that I really love from the Oriental music, and it's simply they sing in Italian. This is absolutely beautiful. So if you don't know about this band, this is PFM, and the band and the album name's Storia Di Un Minuto. But I will put a link in the name in description. The next one is another classic, iconic band I hadn't mentioned in the first video I made. This is Gentle Giant. This is Octopus. And by the way, Octopus, not because of that cephalopod beast like the Roger Dean cover could lead us to think, is because Octopus it made us of 8 tracks or 8 songs. This is their fourth album. They were extensively touring with Jethro Tull. They had success in Italy, in Germany. They were about to have a huge success in the US. This is my favorite album with Acquiring the Taste. The second album they made is really good. And what I like about Gentle Giant is their influence they had with Renaissance and medieval music. They don't try to copy to do the like some other band, like forcing themselves to do some extended tracks over 20, 25 minutes. I think except River, which goes beyond 5-minute marks, all the other songs remains just under the 4-minute something tracks, and they were really performing. They were doing some medley on stage. Ray Schumann was a great bass player who sadly passed away earlier this year. So this is Gentle Giant. This is Octopus. On to the next, another iconic band. This is ELP. This is Tarkus. This is their second album. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, a power trio. A lot of people who watches my channel loves that band, and I do as well. They were probably the first prog band after King Crimson. They were met with success. They had this huge success on the Isle of Wight festival in 1970. Released their first album with Lucky Man on that one, which had success on the radio station, which were more a pop song. This album has no Lucky Man kind of song on that. It's a concept album, as I said. Tarkus, one of my favorite with brain salad surgery. But if you are discovering the genre, brain salad surgery might be a bit more experimental. So I will go definitely with that one. So this is Emerson, Lake and Palmer. This is Tarkus. And last but definitely not least, yeah, I know. In the prog video, I decided to choose that one. This is Pink Floyd, and this is Meddle. And I know whether Pink Floyd's a prog band or not is subject to debate. I know. When I look back, though, I know I remember that I know in 1969 They were performing on stage a double musical suite which was called The Man and the Journey, which is in my book was very prog. They were still under the Sid Barrett's influence. I think with that album they are getting free from his influence. But let's get back on track. 1969, The Man and Journey, which was unfortunately never released. A certain part appeared on the More soundtrack, the album More, the film score, and other they were never released. And this was very prog to me. And the year after, Atom Hot Mother, it's in a way, they had this orchestral reinforcement. They helped maybe to help them to exceed the boundaries they were running up against. And on that album, you have Echoes. Echoes, 23 minutes, very prog to me. If you listen to that version, they were performing in live at Pompeii. To me, it is prog. So I decided to go with that album. So this is Pink Floyd. Hope you like it. Let me know what do you think. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next chapter. Bye bye.